since the 70s. We have worked with a citizens budget committee. We've had departmental hearings. We've had a budget that is prepared by a subcommittee of the mayor and council with some appointed officials. And that has come then to the council as a whole to review. We have done some projections, as long as we're not held to the accuracy of those projections if they're done very early on. So we can work in a number of different ways, so I'd like to hear from the council as to what their ideas are on our approach, so we can start to accommodate whatever is decided for 2012.
Okay, so we have Johnny first, Alphonse. Okay.
Well, I mean, I brought this up last time we were here, and I thought it would be a good way to start. Over the past couple of years, what we've done is we've asked the different departments to come up with their budgets and basically just put whatever they thought they wanted or needed in those budgets. And this year, I wanted to come on early and get projections for what we think our revenue will be for the year. And obviously, Alan, I'm not going to hold you to the dollar, but come up with some sort of projection and have the different departments work off of building budgets off of that. So if our revenue is 10% down, they build a budget 10% down. If at the end the revenue is higher than that, then we can adjust. If it's a little lower, we'll have to adjust. But I think that's a better approach than having the different departments come up with their numbers and then we have to sit there and speak with them and try to cut here and there when we don't really know a lot of the intricacies. It would be, I think, easier and a quicker process if they do that with the projected revenues. And the second part to that is a lot of times we save the salary and wages till last, and that is the biggest chunk of our budget. And I think that should come up to the beginning of talks, if possible.
Okay.
That's my suggestion.
Thank you, Johnny. Alphonse?
No, I agree. I think we need the revenue projections first. Putting a budget together without knowing, what the projected revenue is putting the cart before the horse. So
Okay.
we definitely need to know that beforehand so we can craft our budget. And I agree with the salaries and wages. It's we get to that point and then like last year we realize there's a gap and then we're struggling to meet that gap when it is our biggest expenditure. So we need to address that first.
Right. Thank you. John, any questions?
No, Mayor.
I know what you're
I'm
smiling
not
about.
going to miss those, Mayor. Thank you.
Ed?
No, I just agree with Johnny.
Okay, I'm going to try Sandy first. Sandy?
I'm looking forward to the bagels.
Okay.
7 o'clock in the morning.
We won't be able to afford them unless we each bring our own.
We usually do.
Okay. And Alan?
Mayor, if we're going to do some projections, that's fine, but I'll need to work with perhaps either a subcommittee or the entire council to develop the assumptions that will go into those projections. So, for instance, the second largest source of revenue for the borough, other than the property taxes, would be state aid. Those figures become available after July 1st of 2012. So the mayor and council would have to make an assumption as to whether state aid would be the same, would be reduced, and then that's what we would use. And likewise with some of the other revenue sources, we can go through those. But I'll need guidance from them on what they feel the assumption should be in order to make that projection. So I can work with the subcommittee, the finance committee I can work with.
Yeah, I think that would
If
be
you
a good
want,
idea.
we can begin to work on those projections.
All right, finance, John?
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, John.
I'll see what I can do.
So, okay, all right, I think that's great.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Mayor.
And if somebody bows out, I'll come in in case you're at a loss, okay? Okay. Anything else on that, gentlemen? Okay, we'll start with that. Okay, I'd like a motion now to open this portion of the meeting to the public on any issue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? This portion of the meeting is now open to the public on any issue. If there is anyone here who wishes to be heard on anything, please raise your hand, state your name and address, and ask your questions or make your statement. Yes, please. Young lady in the back.
How are you?
Oh, yes. Would you like to come forward?
Sure. My name is Joanne Lemonick, and I live at 148 Voorhis Avenue. I think I know everybody here. Thank you. On September 15th, the council and the mayor graciously let us attend a sewer and drainage subcommittee meeting. This is attended by me and my neighbor Tim O'Donnell on
Right.
Voorhis Avenue, and John McInerney, who's here.
Right, he's here.
Okay. When we attended that meeting, Bob Costa and John Lynch had said that they would meet with either Tim, because I worked during the day, I couldn't do it,
Right.
Tim and John to give us a visual of the underground and exposed drains. And I just wanted to know, they have not been contacted, I want to know if that has been done.
Okay, I don't know, John, you're here. Did you go over to look at the,
I did a paper on Voorhis Avenue. You had said you would do a visual of the drains.
Mayor, if I just may, my recollection of the meeting was that Bob Costa was going to look at the efficiency of the piping, and he was going to look at the possibility of retention tanks along Oak Avenue.
Well, that was discussed also, but this was mainly discussed, and Bob and John had said that they would
you
meet
come and
with
look?
Tim, and we haven't heard. And what I'd like to know is, do I need to contact Bob, or do I need to contact John myself personally, and maybe set an appointment
Oh,
for them to come?
We'll contact them. I just didn't realize that that was part of them. What they did do is to find information which was going to be sent to you about the Manning Avenue.
That's another issue.
Basi-
The Manning Avenue, yeah, that was another issue
Yeah,
that
that was
was
something
brought up last
separate.
week.
Yeah, that was separate, right.
And the other thing is, I wanted to know if these sewer and drainage committee meetings do meet, how often do they meet, and are
Every
we
month.
permitted to attend?
Yes.
So I can contact Denise and she could let me know when they are.
Yeah, our next meeting is in October.
I could call you.
Yeah.
And it's 7:30 in the morning?
It is,
Okay.
they're always 7:30, yes, certainly you may come.
Okay, great. And then, I know that, October 6th will be 30 days from our proposal that we have written to
Right.
council and it asked for some answers to a lot of our questions. And, we will be, the Voorhis Block Association will be attending. the town
On
meeting.
October 3rd.
In force.
That's fine, but I did tell you that day, that, you said you'd like it done in 30 days, that it has taken us 10 years to get one little project done. I know you'd like answers, but sometimes it does take longer. I'm not saying it's gonna take you 10 years, because you still wanna be living here, and,
Yeah. Without going out in boats, that would be
That's
nice.
I understand that, so, we will try to prioritize.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
All right.
thanks very
But
much.
thank you very much for coming.
Thank
up.
you.
Okay, is there anyone else who wishes to be heard? If not, okay. Yes, please, young lady in the teal shirt.
Michelle Caridi, 193 Wayne Avenue. When exactly was the American Legion purchased, Mayor?
I think it was purchased in 2000, late 2009.
2009. So we've owned it since then? Okay, have you been there lately? Yes. What have we done to that building? The
We're not
town,
doing anything, there's no money.
the town owns the building there. Are you just gonna let it fall apart? There's mold in the basement. If you look in the window, I know you shake your head, and
You are absolutely
The
right.
gutters
There's
are
mold in the
stuffed.
basement, the whole place.
all it takes is a little cleaning up, and it,
I'm sorry, but you did not hear. Were you here when the architect was here and the engineer? That was an architect. But Nikki, was that? Luigi, okay?
you know.
I don't know if you were here that day, but he definitely said it would cost $1.5 million to make that building even safe for anyone to be in. Now, I need to tell you, I know you think it takes just a little cleaning up. Well, it's a little more than a little cleaning up. And right now, there is no money at all available.
So what
to
is
do
gonna
that.
happen to the building?
Well, eventually,
Is
there
it-
will be something done to it. But
Let-
right now, it's not safe for habitation.
But
And right
there's
now-
things you can do now that will prevent it from getting any worse, okay? There's mold in that basement 4 inches up. The gutters are all stuffed, they can be unclogged. There's little things that you can do to prevent it from getting any worse. Instead of costing 1 point whatever million, in a few years, it's gonna cost us 10 million to fix it, or
Well, maybe
whatever.
it's not going to be fixed. I mean, you're assuming that it might be fixed. It may not be fixed.
Well,
There are other options, and there is a committee that is looking at the assets to see how they can be used in a better way. In other words, maybe that building will be used, not used as the way it is now, maybe it will be totally removed. Maybe there will be another building there. We don't know yet. But in the meantime, we don't want people going in there, and if you think it's only 4 inches, you are mistaken. It's much higher than 4 inches.
That's all I can see in
I'm
the
glad
gutters.
that's all, because you'd really be
Well-
sick if you had to see the whole thing. It is very, very mold infested, and the flooring is very, very dangerous. So, right now, we have not got the wherewithal to do that. Okay, the young lady in the back.
Kathleen Murphy, 741 Williams Avenue. You said you had this Caliche come in and give an estimate of 1.5 million. Did you get any other estimates, or you're just taking his word?
Actually, we didn't ask him to come. It was the, one of the councilmen who is no longer here. He brought him in, and he said that we did not get anybody else to do an estimate, because you do have to pay for people to do these estimates, and we did not have the wherewithal to do that.
So
But,
it's gonna cost
you can-
$1,000 to put a
Excuse
satellite?
me, I'm still answering you.
Oh,
Okay? I know, I don't think you hear me. Okay?
no, you're not that loud tonight.
No, well, I can be a little louder if you'd like, okay? Actually, we didn't have the money to hire anybody to do the estimate. It was somebody who came because the councilman had invited him. And he had gone and examined the property. We have not done anything further with that. Alan, you had somebody who came to do to look at, about the mold remediation on the American Legion along with
Written to have that investigated,
Right.
and we do intend to try and schedule the status of the building at an upcoming work session.
Right, so, we will update you on the status of the building. We
Hey.
have somebody else who's going to be coming in.
That's great
Okay.
news. I have one other question.
Sure.
The satellite DPW, there's an estimate of $10,000. Where is that money coming from if we don't have any?
Mhm.
I have not got the slightest idea where it could possibly be coming from, unless it's coming from the operating budget from the DPW. I know there is nothing in excess right now. In November, if there is some excess in other departments, you have the right to transfer money, but that's not until November. So, I can't give you any other answer than that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, unless, Alan, you have another one?
No, not at this time, Mayor.
Okay. I thank you for your questions. Anybody else? Yes, please, young man.
I live in, I own a property at 830 Leckermark Road.
830 Kinderkmek,
Yeah,
okay?
and there was a,
What is your name, please?
Cedric Kim,
Cedric Kim,
yeah.
thank you.
And there was a power pole, and it was replaced by PSCNG, and then they dug up the paving, the one we did a couple years ago. And do I have to, I don't know what to do with it. It's been a while. They dug up that paving,
Okay,
so I don't know who I should talk to.
okay, now, we'll follow through on it.
Okay, I know.
At 830 Kinderkmek?
Yeah, in front of the pizzeria.
In front of the pizzeria? okay.
Yeah, and I contacted PSCNG many times, and they never returned
Okay.
call.
Thank
Because they're the one who replaced the power pole.
Right. Thank you for your information.
Thank you.
Okay. We all set, everybody? Okay, then I'd like a motion, oh, one more person, all the way in the back. Okay,
Neil
how are
Carroll,
you tonight?
321 Wales Avenue.
Okay.
I heard the word generated tonight, and I was wondering if I could get an update on the status, since I haven't received any of the emails.
Okay, well, I know that Councilman Mignon met with Paul Quartz, and they have not presented anything to us on what the outcome of their meeting was. So there is nothing new since they met,
We'll be
but
addressing that.
maybe
I was
I can ask Councilman Mignon to address it to you, okay? Go
I was gonna bring
ahead.
this up under new business anyway, but I can
Okay,
address it
all right,
now.
that's good.
We did have a meeting with Mr. Ken Del Percio, he's an electrical engineer. Myself, Paul Quartz, and John Lynch met with him last week. He just basically did a survey of the building and the current situation. And it was his initial feeling that there could be some value engineering done to make this project more effective and less costly than the original proposal. I was going to request the council tonight to consider asking him for a proposal, and then asking him to come in and meet us at a work session to give us his ideas. He believes that there's probably some ways on the electrical side of things that we can save some money, and he talked about whether it might be more prudent to have the generator split for redundancy purposes, all these kinds of things he can address to us in work session. So I would like to ask the council tonight to authorize us to get a proposal from him, and then we'll go forward from there.
Because the knowledge that I have of the generator is, we do have phone lines in the police department, and if we're only gonna do the police department, all of the phone line batteries, et cetera, are all in this building.
Correct.
So probably for 2 or 3 hours, we would have telephones in the police department. After that period, we wouldn't have any. If it happens during the winter months, we just had this most recent problem, and the Borough Hall was closed for a few days.
Yes.
If that happens in the winter months, what happens to the water and the pipes, et cetera? So, you
Well,
know,
we're also be looking at second or other kind of redundancy systems. We're looking at battery backups for the radios. They had a discussion with the, at the emergency management meeting. You can't just have one backup in emergency. You want to make sure you have redundant systems in case something fails. So looking at things like battery backups for the pump, for the phones, or the radios,
Right.
or the sump pump makes prudent sense to have in addition to the generator.
and telephone.
And telephones. But that's the kind of approach I'd want Mr. Del Percio to look at. And also whether it's feasible, and it probably is, and make more sense to have 2 separate generators, rather than, it'd probably be less cost effective, or I should say, it'd be more cost effective to have 2 separate generators rather than rerouting all the electrical to one location for a larger generator. But that's what I guess.
All the power comes from this building. The only thing
Well,
that,
there are separate panels over there which have been separated. Without getting too much technical detail, there's some concern the way the panels are wired currently.
Right.
We're not sure how the sub-panels were created. Those are the kind of things Mr. Del Percio wants to look at.
Now, is this a different architect than we've already paid?
Yes.
Okay. So all that other money,
I told you at the last
including
meeting, I had
just,
asked for design reports and there were none forthcoming. It looked as if he took a large overview approach, tried to do it, basically say, let me look at our bills, this is what we're gonna use, and design it from there. And made the design fit that end result. I'm looking at it the other way and say, let's look at what we need and then design it from there. And then again, look at some things that are more prudent. I said having redundant systems, I said different generators, different backup systems, so in an emergency, you just don't have all your eggs in one basket and relying on one generator. The generator that was proposed by the previous consultant was natural gas fired, which in most cases will be fine. But you need to be prepared in the case that we have gas interruption, and you don't have a backup generator at that point. So you want to make sure you have redundant systems in place and other things like that. And that's why if you had 2 generators, the likelihood of both going down are less likely.
right.
So that's the approach we're looking to take.
And have we spoken to Mr. Costa? He was brought into the picture. In fact, this generator was designed before the one in the DPW, and Mr. Costa was involved in both. So he has a lot of technical knowledge.
Yes, Mr.
based
Costa
on-
will be involved.
So there is progress.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Neil. Yes, please, young lady.
Kathleen Murphy, 741 Williams Avenue. I had one other question. You said at the last meeting that the OEM would be in to give a report after debriefing. I was just wondering, were they planning on coming tonight?
No, I did not ask them to come tonight because they had other obligations, but they did have the debriefing, and I guess we can have copies of the comments made at the debriefing if anybody wants to have them.
Will they personally be in? at
They
any
will be
point?
here, but not tonight. They will be in as soon as they are available, right? So I don't know if they'll be in for the next meeting. I don't think so, but probably the meeting after or the one after that.
What date will that be?
Not quite sure, but either the very end of October or the first meeting in November.
What date is the first meeting in November?
November 7th, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Alan?
7.
That seems to be very odd timing.
Okay, so, yeah. Well, then maybe November, let's see, maybe October, oh, it would be Halloween, 31st.
Will that be,
Well, you
for
know what, we
sure?
don't have a meeting that night, that's the fifth Monday, hold on.
Are they that busy
One.
that they can't come in?
I don't know if they're that busy, but I do know that, we have to go according to their schedule, they do other things as well. You know, one of them is a volunteer and the other one's part-time.
One man's a retired man, I believe, right?
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so it'd probably be,
When they
maybe
feel
the
like it.
24th of October. Okay. Or before, if they can manage to set their schedule.
Their busy schedule.
But it will, it's always posted anyway who's coming in. So it will be on the borough website with the agenda, and it will also be posted in the library.
It just that so much time has passed, I know that they can't be that busy.
Well, I really don't know if they're that busy or not. I have the comments from the meeting, and we had several council people there too. All right?
When will those be available, the comments?
They're available, you can have them today probably, or tomorrow. Do you have enough copies made, or?
I'll just print that tomorrow, July.
Okay.
Thank
do it
you.
Tomorrow. Okay? Okay. That being said, everybody else good? All right, even if you're not, we're trying to close the meeting, all right? I'd like a motion to adjourn the work session. Oh, close it to the public. I was gonna give us a night off, yeah, all right. Close the work.
So moved.
Okay, open session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so now we'll go to old business. Anybody? Old business. New business. We already gave you, but go ahead, give it again.
Yes, they said, Councilman Courts and John Mitchell and I met with Kendall Percy, the electrical engineer for one. And the next step, I'd like to just get, I'd like to get a proposal from Mr. Del Percio and have him come in and talk to us.
So moved.
Okay, it won't cost us any money, right, to get a proposal?
Okay.
You know, or,
That's-
we have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay,
And one other piece of business.
go ahead.
I have gotten a memo from Lieutenant Curran at the request of DPW. They're requesting additional streets added to the snow ordinance. And Lieutenant Curran would like to get this, draft this ordinance in court for us.
Okay,
I have the list of streets, or you might have gotten them also.
right. Okay, so I guess we need to look at this and bring it back to the next meeting.
You could have the draft ordinance.
Okay, we'll have to draft an ordinance for the next meeting. All right. Any other new business? Yes, John?
Just quickly, along the lines of the budget process, during last year's budget, Sandy had brought up a good point about the health insurance and us getting our information together to go out. I don't know if Sandy has an update or if we have an update as far as what's going to happen with that. If we've gotten, so with this budget season, we can actually go out to maybe different vendors or different companies.
Well, I'll defer to Sandy if he wants to talk about where we're at right now, and I can add a little bit to that.
We did purchase our risk loss information that we received from the state health plan. Alan had sent me the cost of our premiums. I believe that our risk manager is in the process of taking the risk loss information and trying to see if she can obtain a competitive quote from any other health carrier in the market. Alan can correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
can't verify that. We do need to come back together again and discuss, where we're moving forward. Last week, I did hear a report on this committee, statewide committee for the health benefits plan, where they're supposed to come up with new plans, with high deductible plans, and other plans that would become options to the employees, so the employees can reduce their own copay costs by moving to a lower cost plan. That's one of the ideas, to reduce our health insurance costs within the state health benefits plan. But the groups that have been appointed to work on these plans have not been able to make any progress thus far. But I know that's one of the most encouraging things to have come out of the reform of state health benefits, is that there might be another 3 or half a dozen plans for the employees to consider where they could reduce their own copay, but at the same time, this would have a lower premium cost to the borough as a whole.
Right,
But no progress to report there yet.
right.
So our committee is aware of those developments at the state level, and we're waiting to see also what's going to happen at that level as well.
Mayor?
Yes,
I
John?
understand. Well, I just want to add on this, for the budget question, and Al, correct me if I'm wrong, but, I know because I've changed healthcare with my company plenty of times, that goes January 1, and now is the time. So if this isn't done soon, it won't affect next year's budget, because you got to be enrolled for January 1, and everyone has to be signed up. So this more likely, if it gets some traction, is a 2013 budget issue, just so you know, because otherwise we'd have to have these decisions made now, and because that's when I have to do it every year is October. So that's just from my experience.
Thank you, John.
You're saying we put in this one, or we missed it?
Oh,
There's a plan for
no, you won't, it won't be a 2012 issue. It's not possible for it to affect 2012, but it's still a good, investigation.
Thank you for the question, thank you for your work, Sandy, on that. Matty?
Under new business, if, as we're looking at the budget and the revenue side, can Alan give us a report of the existing grant applications? I know we just made one. The existing grant applications that we have, kind of like a history of the grants that we have received. We have an idea of what's out, what has come in under this, and what we have pending.
For when?
For the last few years.
Okay. Alan, can you do that?
Sure.
Okay, all right, anything else? Okay, with that being said, we're going to be closed, we have payment of the bills? No, nothing tonight, huh? Okay, so I'd like an adjournment of the open session, and then we are going into public session, and then we are going into closed session. Okay. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, we're now going into public regular session, special meeting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the special meeting of the mayor.